Sonic 1, the very first game in the series released on the original Sega Genesis. The Blue Blur had fun characters, terrific music, great platforming, and the eye-melting speed that has become its trademark. There's 6 stages, at the end of which you face the evil Dr. Robotnik, who uses a different mechanical contraption to try and destroy you utterly. Other staples that appear in this title are collecting rings, springboards, spirals, super shoes, fuzzy, cuddly forest creatures turned into blood-drinking, evil robotic brainless death machines from hell, and the Chaos Emeralds. The emeralds are awarded at the end of each special stage, which is reached via collecting 50 rings in the level, then jumping into the giant ring at the end of said stage. If you're good enough to collect all 7 emeralds, you transform into Super Sonic. Basically, a powered up version of normal Sonic that turns yellow and speeds around even faster than usual. The music is terrific, with many catchy tunes that would become classic staples in the Sonic franchise, including Green Hill Zone, which is probably my favorite from the original. The prologue to the 16-bit wars, and a defining start to the series. Sonic 2. The sequel to the original was the big kicker. It took everything that was great about the first game and boosted it up. It fixed anything that was wrong with the first game, what little there was, and added lots of new experiences. This is probably my most favorite of all Sega Genesis games. I still play it to this day. Much of the aspects of the first game are carried over, with more additions as well. One of the major new things added was that of Sonic's friend Tails, who follows you around in single player or can be played as the second player in dual mode. Tails would pretty much be by Sonic's side for the remainder of his adventures, but if my memory serves me correctly, this is the only game where both Sonic and Tails are on the screen at the same time. My favorite stage in the game is probably Green Hill Zone. Can't beat the sunny jungle stages, followed by Oil Ocean, mostly because of the kick-ass music, although a lot of stages in this game have great music as well. Sonic 3. To me, this is one of the first steps that Sega took in drastically changing the original games before Sonic Adventure came out on the Dreamcast. It was originally planned to be a huge game, but Sega decided to split it up into 2 parts, Sonic 3 and Sonic & Knuckles, which was released later. I just never really liked the sprite design for Sonic 3, it's a little too overly cartoony. Don't get me wrong, it's still an improvement over Sonic 2 in terms of visual style, but I always found it distracting. Also changed from Sonic 2 is that when you complete the first act of a stage, the game just immediately continues into the second act. Most of the music is subpar in my opinion for a Sonic game, with just a catchy tune here and there. This game also introduces Knuckles the Echidna, which would also go on to star in many future Sonic titles. He's a total badass in this game though, mostly because he gets in Sonic's way and just acts like a jerk. Now, there was an additional Sonic release on the original Genesis called Sonic & Knuckles. And technically speaking, this is the other half of Sonic 3 that had to be chopped off its original release in order to get the game out on time. It's pretty much the same game as Sonic 3, except now that you can play as Knuckles as well. This is also the famous lock-on cartridge, allowing you to attach either Sonic 3 or even Sonic 2 to it and play as Knuckles in Sonic 2 if you wish. Sonic Adventure. Now this game was and is considered by many players to be the greatest Sonic game ever released. Yes, even better than Sonic 2. It was the first Sonic game released for the now defunct Sega Dreamcast system, which I was a proud owner of for a while. And it was also the first Sonic title to be in 3D. Featuring one of the best soundtracks for any Sonic game, it was a milestone at the time of its release in late 1998. While the Sonic stages are the most fun, as to be expected, some of the other featured stages are also enjoyable. This was also the first time that Sonic Team would start to include gameplay elements that would drag the franchise down, and each subsequent release would have more of these problems in them. This game pretty much was the system purchaser for me, and it was tons of fun back in the day. Sonic Adventure 2. Pretty much the same shtick as the original Sonic Adventure, nothing really has been added. The soundtrack still kicks ass though, and some of the stages feature incredible scenery and landscapes. Not much else. Sonic Heroes. Now, around this time, which is circa 2003-2004, is when, I feel, that Sonic Team really started to make bad decisions, and the Sonic franchise as a whole started to go downhill fast. It just seemed like they ran out of ideas, and instead of spending time and resources on creating a new and fun game, they just made any old piece of shit and released it as a Sonic game, hoping the game's name and its fan base would be enough to draw in sales. It had a clumsy three-way playstyle, a boring storyline that went nowhere, okay graphics, and lackluster replay value. It was just a bad game overall, and I never really liked it at all. Sonic the Hedgehog 06. This release, while using the original name even though gamers have come to call it Sonic 06, was at least a step in the right direction from the abysmal garbage that Sonic Heroes was. Although the plot was laughable, it did feature some great visuals, as this was the first major release on a 7th generation game console. I just didn't get why Sonic, admittedly a cartoon character, was interacting with a realistically portrayed human woman. The clash in visual styles just didn't make any sense. The soundtrack had promise, but overall was a letdown. It would be another 4-year wait until Sonic's rise from the digital ashes. Sonic Unleashed. This game was very hit and miss between critics, gamers, and anyone else who played it. We all know that the Hedgehog stages were draggy and that the combat mechanics became boring after a short time. I liked the game, overall for the most part. I did hate collecting sun and moon medals just to unlock later levels, but I guess Sonic Team thought it was a good idea. The graphics again are very good, and the soundtrack is about 50-50. If they had just had the entire game be about Sonic in his normal form, I think this game would have been a lot better received. In the end, the game was actually delisted, which means it's not even for sale in normal retail channels anymore because of so much negative backlash. Sonic Colors. 2 years after Sonic Unleashed came out, in 2010, Sonic Colors debuted on all 3 major consoles. I've played through the Wii version and it's fantastic. Sega finally made a good Sonic game. It only took relatively 10 years or so, but they got it right this time. The gameplay, sound, music, and fun factor are all terrific. Some people might argue that the use of wisps is a cheap notion designed to take away from the game itself as a novelty, but I think they add a new, fun dimension to the usual formula. I'll probably give Sonic Colors its own review video in due time. The environments are beautiful, and there's always tons of stuff to check out and admire about the scenery. The effect animations are very well done, and the storyline is far more decent than the last few Sonic games by a long shot. Even after beating the game, I still return to it just to have fun, and that's always a good sign in my book.